everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marit, and if you're new here, hi, welcome. First of all, I really want to say sorry for the lack of video last week. It's because I have my midterms next week, so I was studying very hard. I was cramming all the things. So I forgot I have a YouTube channel, which I have to upload videos to. So, yeah. Then, for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about the books I was forced to read in high school. I'm in college now. We're still being forced to read books, but not like fiction. So that's a different kind of books. But in high school, I was forced to read 5 fiction books a year. And I'm gonna be talking about those for a bit because it was so weird. So we'll start with the books from my 4th year out of 5, because that's when they started feeding us literature. So, praised books by Dutch authors or something, I don't know. And I'm just going by the list. It's in, I think, alphabetical order for the name of the author, but I'm not sure. And the first book was Oeroeg by Hella S. Haase, which is a Dutch one. It won a prize or something. It was a gifted book that you could get for really cheap for a year. What do they call that? That has a name in the Netherlands. Boekenweekgeschenk. So we have book week every year, and then one of the literature books will be the gift, so you can get that for free with any book you purchase or at the library or something. And it was about this guy. He was flashbacking to his youth, I think, on what the words. I should prepare this better. Yeah. Damn. He was the son of a plantation owner, and he had a friend there who was, his name was Oeroeg, and so it's a lot about slave culture and stuff. So that, I don't think I actually finished that in my 4th year. I did read it later on at one point for a readathon, which was also a mistake because I didn't enjoy it. So, anyway, that was the first one. My entire class had to read that, and I don't think any of us really did. Yeah. Then, on second was De Donkere Kamer van Damocles. These are all Dutch books, so I don't know if you have anything, we'll get any recommendations or something, but this is basically me ranting about books I didn't enjoy reading, so I don't know if you want recommendations from this. Yeah, but De Donkere Kamer van Damocles by Willem Frederik Hermans, very praised Dutch author, really weird book. It's about what was the name of the guy? Well, anyway, there was a guy, and he, it was in the time of the Second World War, and he was in the resistance, but I don't know, the end of the book really confused me, but I think it turned out he wasn't really in the resistance. It was all just his mind fucking with him. There was this guy, he looked like the main character, they looked like twins, and the guy was in the resistance, and the main character was like, oh my god, you're so cool, you're a cooler version of me, I want to be in resistance too. So they did some weird stuff, he shot a man. There's a lot of theories about this book that the guy wasn't, it was just his mind messing with him. But what confuses me about that is that the guy that shouldn't really be there was the guy that was just his mind. He did give him stuff. So that guy gave him a gun and a camera and an army suit and stuff, but if the guy wasn't really there, how did the main character get the army suit and the camera and the gun he used to shot a guy? So that was real weird. I had to read this again later on in my 5th year because it was the class book, and my teacher was like, so who has read this before? And I was like yeah, me. So he gave me the option to either read it again or read another book by the same author. So I chose to read it again, and then I didn't read it again. But I was like, I know the story. I'm gonna ace this test. Yeah. And I did. Yeah, so that, the title of the book was translated to The Dark Room of Damocles. And the dark room is what you use to develop pictures from an old camera, which had a really big part in the book. And Damocles was like a Greek myth about a guy who had a sword hanging over his head on a thread, and that had some metaphorical use in the book. I should read this book again. I really want to understand. I might read this book again. I also might not. The third book was Marthe Jacobs by T. Krabbe. I forgot his first name. But this was about a guy who was in love with Marthe Jacobs. And then there is a whole story about him falling in love with her and her dying, and then his rival publishing a book about her, and he was like, but I was just gonna disclose to the world that my most famous poem was about her, and now he has a book about her, and that's messed up. And it was a good book, but it was also really fucked up. That's all I have to say. Next was Cell. I think I have that around here somewhere. I just don't know where, so I'm not gonna look for it. By Charles Dentex. This was one of the best books I was forced to read for school. So the first book and the one about Damocles, those were group books, so we all had to read them, but the rest we were free to choose from a certain list of books. And this was one of the best ones that I chose. It's about identity theft. So the main character... I forgot the names of all the main characters in these books, really. But yeah, the main character, his identity got stolen, so he's kicked out of his house and he had to pay the bank or something. It is really complicated to explain, especially in English, since it's been a while since I read this book. But as far as I remember, his identity got stolen by what turned out to be a farm boy with a lot of computers in his house. They stole his money, they framed him for a car accident, that kind of stuff. And then the whole plot is about him trying to get his identity back with help of some friends or something. Yeah, the last one I read in my 4th year was Sonny Boy, and this was also about, not really slave culture, but also about racism. I'm gonna look this up real quick, because I think I should explain what this was about, because it was sort of almost a good one, but... Oh, no, it's not about racism. It's about a Catholic marrying a Protestant, and then that is wild. I think one of the two is from Indonesia, but I'm not sure. But they get kids, and there's a whole scandal because the woman is Catholic and the man is a Protestant, and then she gets kicked out of the house and stuff. This is in 1911. Also, this is how much I paid attention while reading this book. I just forgot all of that. No. Yeah, so there is racism. There's 2 white people marrying from different religions, but then I think they get divorced, and then the woman takes in a guy from Suriname, and then they fall in love, and that's also a scandal. that's it. And then they get a kid. There's a 20-year age difference. And they get a kid, and that's the whole story. So that was, yeah. It was good. It was also weird. Welcome to literature. So the next one, this is now what I read in my 5th year. The next one is De Engelenmaker by Stefan Brijs, which is, I think, the best book on this list. It's about this guy. He has a cleft lip, and he's very smart, but I think he always got bullied because of the cleft lip or something. But he is a scientist, and he wants to make babies. Whoa, shook. Evolution or something? No, but he wants to clone himself. So him making babies is him trying to clone himself. And at one point, he does it. And there's triplets, and they have the exact same cleft lip that he has. But something goes wrong, and they get old real fast. Like, they die halfway through the book or something. So he tries again, and there's a whole story with 2 lesbians that want a kid, and that goes wrong because they are Siamese twins with the same spine, and he has to do something about that. Very weird. At the end of the book, this guy has a complex. I want to say a god complex, but that's not true because he thinks he's Jesus. It's you get flashbacks to his youth and stuff, and like his parents gave him up for adoption, and they told the nuns that his mom told the nuns that she wanted them. No, I'm confusing storylines. He tells the nun he hires to teach his children that he wants her to teach them about Jesus, but not about God. And yeah, I gave you a warning that this was gonna be me rambling. So, the guy, he thinks he's Jesus, that he got all the unfair things in the world and stuff, and like, he's not God. He doesn't have a God complex because he's like, no, but God is the good one or something. He did all the bad and I'm doing the good, so I'm Jesus. Then at the end of the book, he goes, there's like a pilgrimage thing through his village with statues and stuff. So at the end of the thing, there's Jesus on the cross. There's the cross. But the guy is like, I'm Jesus. So he hangs himself at the cross. He's like, there's a pin here, and then he takes his hand off so he can hang the rest of the pins, and then he just waits until all the people come past, and then he just is still alive. He yells something, and then he dies on the cross. He's like, I'm Jesus, so I'm gonna die like Jesus. And it's so fucking weird. But I did really enjoy myself reading this book, so if you're Dutch and I haven't completely spoiled it for you, do read this book. Where am I going with this? Alright, then on the list is the Donkere Kamer van Damocles again, which, as I said, I didn't read in my 5th year. It was just, I could either actually read another book from the author, or pretend to read this again. Easy choice, right? Then there is De Greppel, which is also a book about divorce. I'm gonna Google it real quick, because I just know divorce and nothing else. Alright, so, yeah. It's the mayor of Amsterdam, and he suspects his wife is cheating on him with one of his, with one of his aldermen. And it's like one of the good ones, but she is cheating on him, and that's not supposed to happen, so... Then a journalist is like, hey, this guy hit a war soldier who has been to Vietnam. So everyone is against him and stuff. And then his parents are like, hey, so we're gonna kill ourselves. And it's not like suicide, it's when you're really old and euthanasia. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but because they're really old and they don't want to die like that. Well, while reading this book, I was like, yo, this ain't right. It was the granddad's idea. It was his dad's idea, and his mom was like, just like, yeah, sure. But at one point, they do it, and the mom dies, but the dad survives. And I was like, that ain't right, fam. But it turned out it really was an accident. So that was weird. Also, racism, I think. Because the wife was... The first sentence of the book is, I call her Sylvia. That's not her real name, because her real name would distract. Because she was not from the Netherlands and she had a name that vouched for that or something. So I think also racism, also weird stuff. If you've counted how many times I said weird stuff in this video, leave a comment. I'm curious, because it must be a lot. Alright, then I read De Tweede Man by Dushka Meising. That is the only book on this entire list of 10 books, or actually 9.5, because one was on there twice, that I never completely finished, because this was at the end of my 5th year, and it was very close to the test, and I was like, I'm not gonna finish this book anyway, I'm not enjoying myself, so I was like, nah, we're done. Then it was an oral exam, and my teacher was like, yeah, I want to talk for a bit about that book, and I was like, fuck, because that was the one I didn't finish. Did get a 9 on my oral exam anyway, so yeah. But I cannot tell anything about this book because I didn't understand, and I was not enjoying myself, so I didn't pick anything up. I've named it. If you're Dutch, if you're in your 5th or 4th year of high school, don't choose this book because it's bad. And then the last one was Vals Licht by Joost Zwagerman, which is about a guy, a boy, and he has always been fascinated by the red light district. Then he meets a girl that works there, and then they fall in love, and then weird stuff happens. But the red light district is really a theme, and that fascinated me because... Well, I cannot really explain myself on that one. It just fascinated me because I've been to Amsterdam with school at one point, and my teacher was like, yeah, I'm gonna show you a very tiny bit of the red light district because that's interesting. And that was weird. My teacher was weird, but I don't know. The fact that we got behind the scenes, it fascinated me. So I chose this book. Yeah, so we get the story of the boy and how the love story progresses and what happens when the girl doesn't want to work at the red light district anymore and then stuff. It's a good one. If you can look over all the sex stuff, it's a good one. Yeah. These were my 10 books that I was forced to read in school that I did or did not enjoy. I hope you, however, did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like me, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys!